Hey guys, I wanted to come on here and talk about this story of this obviously demonic entity who chose to murder his 2-year-old daughter by beating her to death with a hammer. And I'm really trying to figure out what it is that is appealing to Black people about these demonic entities, aside from Black people being severely mentally sick, because we have to understand that they're not just advocating for dating and procreating with these people. We choose to demean and disparage and condemn and destroy our own people in favor of these demonic entities. And it's interesting to me how many people run around with these religions that they supposedly associate themselves with. They talk about spirituality. They always talk about good versus evil, and Christ coming down here to somehow resolve and rid the world of evil, but yet they don't attach evil to the people who are doing evil. That's why it's like I don't take the religion seriously, because it's like they go around with this religious preference, yet they're worshiping the people who is doing the most evil and not identifying them as evil. That's why I say when you live on a planet that is operating naturally as a form of duality, and if your religion requires you to see whiteness as good and you are the polar opposite of whiteness, then by default your brain is going to connect blackness to evil, or brown, because it is the exact opposite of what you attach and how you recognize your God to be. So this is an issue with Black people's mindset. They're saying one thing out of their mouth, but their words, what their actions and the way that they navigate through society, the way that they view these people, shows that they actually believe that Black is evil and white is good, because most of their defending goes to white people. Most of the ostracization goes to Black people. We express hatred up for each other and we express love for them, which means we're choosing to show love for that which is obviously evil and ostracizing ourselves because we've been convinced by way of these religions and spiritual and so-called spiritual, because there's really nothing spiritual about Christianity from my perspective other than evil. And the thing of it is if you choose to be a Christian, that is fine. You can choose to be a Christian. I can't control anybody's belief system. But what I do know is that I was a Christian for a very long time, and some of the most atrocious evil I've seen came from Christians. And that's where it becomes the issue with myself and people who choose to practice Christianity, because they generally aren't accepting or respectful of the fact that people have different experiences with religion. Then when they choose to disassociate themselves from those religions, there shouldn't be any ostracization or any condemnation based on what they've experienced. However, with a lot of Black people, their entire demeanor will change towards you once you say that you don't want to associate with a religion that you believe and you've experienced have brought nothing but pain to you. But I want to get into this video because I don't want to get into a tangent about Christianity. But that's just what I was thinking, because your spirituality determines your perspective of good and evil. And it is very evident that this is a group of people who are genetically evil. That's just the way that it is at this point. There's overwhelming evidence that this is your origin and source of evil, yet Black people don't seem to see it that way. It's like they're blind to the reality of who's representing good and who's representing evil. But let me get to this video and I'll come back with some commentary.
Johannes Roque sits inside an Orange County courtroom, shackled in a wheelchair, making direct eye contact with a KFDM Fox 4 reporter right before he says,
"I've been out of my control for a very long time, miss."
He's charged with capital murder and the killing of his 2-year-old daughter. Police say he used a hammer to beat her to death and left her inside a bedroom closet. They call it one of the worst crimes they've ever worked. Roque tells Judge Arkeen it was the government that made him do it.
I did not kill my daughter. I'm moving without control.
Sir, let me go
I'm
over the
moving without
punishment.
control. Please listen to me.
Okay, well, I'm in control here, and I'm going to tell you what the punishment range is.
If convicted, Roque would face the death penalty or life in prison. After Roque is wheeled back to an Orange County jail cell, Detective Robert Inman talks about the horrific crime.
I've been doing this for 29 years, and I'll be honest with you, this is the worst case I've ever seen. This has affected a lot of the officers. You never forget this. This is the what you have nightmares over.
Police say the killing happened sometime around 11 Tuesday morning on this street. We confirmed that at the time of the killing, the mother of Roque was seeking a mental health warrant for him. James Harris lives 2 houses down.
I don't know what caused him to click like that, or why he clicked it, or what, because that's newborn baby. You don't want to just we got kids now, in the world that need food and stuff. They can't even get it and everything. So I mean, it's just tragic, man. I just hate to hear that, man.
Now, 2 things I want to point out before I read over this brief article and then conclude. One of them is, did you guys notice how he kept saying he's not in control of himself? He's basically acting on behalf of someone or something else. I really believe that these are the vessels in the walking, living manifestations of evil. Like, if you have to have the evil energy and the essence of evil and what it is taking human form, I believe that they by and large are walking manifestations of evil. And did you guys see how blank his eyes was? Like, there was nothing, no life, no soul, no remorse, no energy, no anything. It was just blank, cold death in his eyes. The fact that a lot of them, the prevalence of this is found mostly among them globally, that should tell Black people something. It should tell you something. And I don't understand how they sit here and talk about spiritual discernment and feel like they're capable of just seeing to the spirit and to the core of something, yet we still, by and large, as a people, we worship these people. Understand that our sole existence has been focused around getting the approval and acceptance of these people. So either we're lacking the spirituality, or we don't understand how to identify good versus evil. That's just a reality. It can only be one of 2 of the things, because this doesn't make any sense, this level of deviltry. But I want to get into this article because I'm never going to understand the mindset of people who choose to be hung up on religion. But it says, the affidavit says an officer's body camera captured 26-year-old Giovannis Roque confessing Tuesday in the death of his child in a home in the southeast Texas city of Orange, about 30 miles east of Beaumont. Police say the body of little Savannah Roque was found in a closet. That's how easy it was for him to discard her. No emotion, no regard for her life. This is part of his DNA. Just didn't care, murdered her, threw her in the closet. In court Wednesday, a judge was explaining the charges against Roque when the suspect blurted out, "The government made me do it." So this is a little girl in question, but what they're going to do is they're going to go with the whole he was mentally ill. Because this is what they always do. They always dismiss it by them being mentally ill. And keep in mind, this is really the biggest threat to them. They are their own biggest threat, yet they're sitting here and focus on what Black people are doing. And unfortunately, other Black people will focus on what Black people are doing as well. Roque and the baby lived with Roque's mother, who found the body. Roque previously lived in Florida. A television station in Miami-Dade County reports the child was weeks old when her mother was struck and killed by an impaired driver. Roque is charged with capital murder and is being held on a $2 million bond. Now, this dude killed a baby. I mean, I'm sure we know he don't have $2 million at all to post bond, but the fact that he even got bond was really interesting. But it's not surprising, though, because this is just how this system works, and this is why they take L's on this as well. And they take L's on it because they refuse to address the psychopathology and degeneracy and the murderous criminal intent and savage bloodlust is prevalent in the psyche of their own people. And they're going to continue to behave this way. And it doesn't really matter at all what any of us say. They're going to be who they are. My thing of it is I just wish Black people will use that spiritual discernment that they say they have. Because here's the thing, the only problem or the main problems that I have with Black people in religion and when they choose to be caught up in Christianity specifically is that it blinds them to reality. It impedes their ability to see who the real enemy is, good from evil. It doesn't allow them to do that. And that's the core problem. Like if they could somehow be in that mindset and believe in Christianity and love their people and not cape for and advocate for and defend certified demons, not even be able to recognize them really, then it would be no problem to me. But I couldn't help but notice that. And that's not to say there aren't a select few of them who see the evil for what it is. By and large, do Christians really attach evil to these cavelings? No. They see them as God, and that's the core problem. And that's why I believe that it is a poison to the mindset of Black people. But if we could have large amounts or the majority of Black people in this country being Christian and seeing reality for what it is, it wouldn't be a problem. But then that would defeat the purpose of even giving Black people Christianity. But you guys let me know what you think of this demonic entity. I'll see you guys in the next video.